He saved the emperor's life, so the emperor gave him everything. That was his first mistake. Not the saving, not the gratitude, the everything. Because the man who saves you from a wild horse is not the same man who should be handed an empire. Michael III placed too much trust in his friend Basilius, and Basilius simply did what many people do in such a situation. He forgot every favor he'd received, imagined he earned his success by his own merits, and then removed the one person standing between him and absolute power. He had his friend murdered, and then he took the throne. This is, ladies and gentlemen, law number 2. It's the 19th century Byzantine Empire. Michael III has just assumed the throne, young, powerful, surrounded by enemies on every side. One day, visiting the royal stables, a wild horse breaks loose. In the chaos, a young horse trainer named Basilius steps forward, calm, fearless. He controls the animal with his bare hands. Michael was immediately impressed. He raised Basilius from obscurity of being a horse trainer to the position of head of stables, then Chamberlain, then co-emperor, then his closest companion, his most trusted friend. Michael showered Basilius with titles, land, wealth, and power. Everything a man would ever want, everything an emperor could ever give. And Basilius received it all graciously, loyally, until he wanted more. Basilius became greedy for more wealth and power. He had allowed a man to see power up close, a man who then wanted it all. In 867 AD, Basilius had Michael III assassinated. He didn't use an enemy to do it. He didn't need one. He used himself. The man Michael saved from obscurity, the man who owed him everything, the man he trusted most in the world, the man put a knife in him. Here's what Greene wants you to understand about why this keeps happening across all of the history. Friends are quick to become envious and resentful. When you do them a favor, give them a job, a title, a platform, the act of receiving it makes them feel indebted, and people hate feeling indebted to someone they see every day. The debt slowly transforms, first into discomfort, then into resentment. Then, if the gap in power grows wide enough, it grows into something far more dangerous. Friends will betray you more quickly than enemies, for they are easily aroused to envy. They also become spoiled and tyrannical. But an enemy, a man you have defeated, humiliated, or outcompeted, operates on a completely different psychology. Hire a former enemy, and he will be more loyal than a friend because he has more to prove. He carries no debt, no hidden resentment, only the hunger to demonstrate that your faith in him was not a mistake. Enemies make better allies than friends. Not always, but more often than anyone is comfortable admitting. This is the law 2 of the 48 laws of power. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. The people who can hurt you most are the people you know the most. Your friends, your fears, your weaknesses, the gaps in your armor you have never shown a stranger. When a friend turns, and history shows they do, they don't attack where you're strong. They attack exactly where you told them you were vulnerable. Voltaire understood this completely. He wrote, "Lord, protect me from my friends. I can take care of my enemies." That line is 300 years old. It has never stopped being true. Now, you don't need an empire for this law to apply to your life. Think about the colleague you mentored, who went above you, the business partner who you trusted completely, who took the clients when they left, the friend you gave a platform, who used it to outgrow you and never looked back. None of them were villains, they were just humans. And humans, when given proximity to power, will eventually ask, why not me? The lesson isn't to stop trusting people. The lesson is to stop trusting people because they are your friends. Trust people because they're competent, because they have something to prove, because their success is tied to yours. That is a bond that holds. Friendship is a bond of the heart. Power doesn't care about your heart.